I call on question number 1, Andrew Little.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his statement in question time yesterday? He would, quotes, absolutely, in quotes, retain confidence in a minister who authorised a multi-million-dollar payment to a disaffected businessman to unlock a free trade deal.
Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I stand by my statement in response to that question yesterday by the member, but I would note the question does not accurately reflect the actions of Mr McCulley in relation to the Saudi sheep issue.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Why does he think it is appropriate for his government to use $4 million of taxpayers' money to grease the palm of one foreign businessman?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, again, I think the member inaccurately presents the issue. That was a payment made for contract for services.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
What service was given by the businessman in question in exchange for $4 million?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I don't have it all in detail, but it's laid out in the Cabinet paper.
Supplementary.
What a cover-up.
Order.
What a cover-up.
Order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Given his answers yesterday that he didn't know whether Murray McCulley invited Mr Al-Khalaf to sue New Zealand, as stated in the 2011 letter from Brownrigg Agriculture, has he now had time to check these serious documented allegations against his minister? And what assurances can he provide the House today?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, Mr McCulley has informed me he has made no such comment. I do not believe any minister has told a party to sue the government. What ministers do from time to time to say, and I've actually said myself, is people are free to test their legal rights in court. There's quite a big difference.
Supplementary question. Supplementary.
Order. Order. Supplementary question, Tim McIndoe.
So has the Prime Minister seen any reports on the issue that Minister McCulley was seeking to resolve with Saudi Arabia?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I have. I've seen reports that indicate Trade Minister Phil Goff travelled to Riyadh in 2006 and told the Saudis that live sheep exports for slaughter would resume. I'm also seeing reports that suggest the Labor government acted in bad faith towards the Saudis by deliberately not telling them that they were changing their position and banning exports. What's clear is that the Labor government created this problem and Minister McCulley has now resolved it.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Order. Order. Order.
Mr Speaker, just if I could get some point of order, Mr Speaker, if I can get clarification. Yesterday, I believe that you pointed out a ruling that the ministers were not allowed to use a patsy question or a supplementary question to attack opposition parties.
I'll hear from Tim McIndoe.
Point of order. I absolutely reject the assertion in that member's question. I was seeking.
Order. That's not going to be helpful. I certainly did use a ruling yesterday, 1976, and I'd encourage members to have a look at it. If I detect that the question is lined up simply as a means of attacking another party, order. I'm on my feet to the Honourable Annette King. If I detect a question is there for that purpose alone, in this particular case, I've got to judge quite a significant difference of opinion between clearly the National and Labor opposition in regards to the history of this matter. The questions have been asked and been flowing across the House now for a considerable length of time, and I don't believe that that question was designed simply to attack the Labor Party. I think it was a position the government is continuing to advance that the problem was one that was created earlier. That's for members to decide or determine how accurate those statements are. Further question? Further point of order, the Honourable David.
Yes, the Prime Minister appeared to be quoting from an official document, and I asked that he table it.
Yeah, it's easily sorted. If the Prime Minister was quoting, the Prime Minister indicating that he wasn't, so that is the end of that matter. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
What advice did he and or his Cabinet receive about the cause of action?
Order. Can I just ask that the questions be started again? Yeah.
What advice did he and or his Cabinet receive about the cause of action underlying Mr Al-Khalaf's claim against the New Zealand government?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I don't have the information with me.
Supplementary.
Order.
Don't have it about
Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Why was his government, what was his government doing sending sheep halfway around the world to die in the desert?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, I refute the proposition of that question.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Tim McIndoe.
Sir, has the Prime Minister seen any reports about warnings that were given to the government in regard to the Saudi sheep issue?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, I have. I've seen reports that show that the government's actions in relation to the Saudi sheep issue carried legal, commercial and diplomatic risks. These risks were outlined in Cabinet papers.
Order. I am not going to put up with that form of interjection from that member. If it happens again, she will be leaving the chamber. I'm sorry to interrupt the Prime Minister. I invite him again. Complete his answer.
I'll start again. I've seen reports that show the government's actions in relation to the Saudi sheep issue carried legal, commercial and diplomatic risks. These risks were outlined in Cabinet papers, which also show that the Labor government gave full assurances to the Saudis and then went back on their word.
Point of order. Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, in his answer, the Prime Minister quoted from Cabinet papers. I request that he table them.
Order. If the Prime Minister quoted from an official document, then he must table it. I don't... Order. Whether he quoted from a Cabinet paper, that's not the issue. Whether he was utilising an official paper, Prime Minister shakes his head, he said he wasn't. Further supplement.
Point of order, Mr
Point
Speaker.
of order, Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, I'd like you to consider that, perhaps in more detail later, where the Prime Minister outlines the contents of a document. Whether he uses the exact words, he's clearly referring to an official document, and therefore he is required to table it. I
will give the matter further consideration, but at this stage my ruling stands. The Prime Minister said he wasn't quoting from an official document, cannot be required to table it. So, order. Supplementary question, Andrew Little.
Does he consider that a farm in a desert where 75% of lambs die has demonstrated New Zealand's reputation as a leader in global agriculture?
Speaker,
the Right Honourable Prime
I don't
Minister.
think that's a proven fact in terms of the proposition the member's making, but I do think that the opportunity that the agribusiness hub creates is a good opportunity actually to showcase for those 30 companies the technology that New Zealand has.
Question number 2, James Shaw.